Hi and welcome back. If you're like me and an elderly person, well, I'm 60, you may be older, you may be slightly younger than myself, you may be wondering whether it's safe to intermittent fast. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a guy on the internet, but I am practicing intermittent fasting. Now, I've been doing intermittent fasting now for just over 4 months, and I'm doing what's called the 16-8 method of intermittent fasting. The 16-8 method of intermittent fasting means that you fast for 16 hours and you eat during an 8-hour window. And I have to say that even though I'm now in my 60s, I feel strong, healthy and fit. In fact, I probably feel better than I did when I was in my 50s or even when I was in my 40s. So I'd certainly recommend considering doing intermittent fasting. But is it okay, and what are the benefits of intermittent fasting when you're an older person? So firstly, one of the benefits of intermittent fasting is that it will burn fat. So if you're obese, it will reduce obesity. The next benefit of intermittent fasting as you get older is reduced inflammation. Now, each time you eat, your body becomes inflamed. It's part of the natural process of digesting the food. But by extending your fast, what you're doing is you're giving your digestive system a rest. And it's the resting period that allows your digestive system to recover. So for example, for me, I used to suffer from excess mucus. And it's probably as a result of either having irritable bowel syndrome or possibly as a result of having cancer and chemotherapy and it destroying all of my bacteria in my gut. But either way, intermittent fasting has cured my excess mucus. So what I take from that is that intermittent fasting, or the fasting period, is very helpful for your gut and your gut microbiome. The next benefit of intermittent fasting is reduced high blood pressure. One of the causes of high blood pressure is obesity. So by the very fact that you will lose weight by doing intermittent fasting will mean that your blood pressure will come down. But also fasting reduces parasympathetic activity, which is also known as the rest and digest state. This has the effect of also reducing your blood pressure. Another benefit of intermittent fasting as you get older is a reduction in bad cholesterol. But on top of reducing bad cholesterol levels, you can also reverse type 2 diabetes by doing intermittent fasting. The fasting period reduces insulin and reduces insulin resistance, which is a precursor to type 2 diabetes and a cause of the type 2 diabetes. Intermittent fasting also means that you have a reduced risk of getting Alzheimer's disease, which is also known these days as type 3 diabetes. And if all those previous benefits aren't enough for you, how about on top of that you have a reduced risk of heart disease? Heart disease is caused by high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, inflammation, being overweight and obese, high cholesterol levels, and by reducing all these risk factors, you are less likely to suffer from a heart attack and have heart disease. On top of all those other benefits, another benefit of intermittent fasting is something called autophagy. Now, autophagy is where the body repairs itself. It repairs damaged cells, organelles, and the mitochondria inside your body. Autophagy is seen as very beneficial for anti-aging. It also has the effect of reducing the risk of cancer, something very dear to my heart, having suffered from cancer and also being very fortunate to have survived going through cancer. Something that I never want to go through again, so I'm hoping that the benefit of intermittent fasting is that I never suffer such a horrible disease ever again. So what elderly people shouldn't do intermittent fasting? Well, certainly anyone who has severe lung, heart, kidney or liver disease shouldn't do intermittent fasting. Elderly people with type 1 diabetes and on insulin injections should not do intermittent fasting unless you consult your doctor. Also, if you have any form of eating disorder like anorexia nervosa, you should also not do intermittent fasting. But before you even consider thinking about doing intermittent fasting as you get older, consult your doctor first. This is particularly true if you're on any form of medication or if you are suffering from any of the diseases or symptoms that I've just discussed. What else should you do when you're intermittent fasting? Well, one thing you should do is make sure you do physical exercise. Now, physical exercise means that at least twice a week, preferably 3 times a week, you should get out of breath. Now, whether that's going on a treadmill or an exercise bike or going for a run, then all of these activities will be beneficial to complement your intermittent fasting. It's also important to do resistance training to complement your intermittent fasting too. Now, I weight train 3 times a week and I feel stronger and fitter than I did during my 50s now that I'm in my 60s. On top of that, I also suggest to do something to stimulate your brain too. So if you want a better quality of life and if you want to slow down the aging process as you get older, I certainly recommend that you do intermittent fasting. Thank you for listening, take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.